Odinga's words, especially in opposition politics, has been whenever he says something, people take him seriously. But over the past few months, his declaration that ODM is not in government, everyone can see they are in government. Now he comes out and says, okay, fine, we've not made a decision about this. Do you think Kenyans really take his words that seriously, or is media just making a big deal out of nothing?
Thank you. I actually listened to Wakili, and I actually wonder if Kenya is a failed state. From what I hear from Wakili, is like we are all living in a doomed society where everything is not working. SHA is not working, the political parties are not working, our leaders are not working. Seriously? I think Kenya is working. Kenya is one of these countries within Africa that is a beam of hope in Africa. So if we can say that there's nothing working here in Kenya, it basically means that Africa is all dead. But let me come to what you're saying, is that this is our condition. This is our political parties. This is our state. This is our progress of growth politically. We cannot say that we are where probably Ethiopia, where Wakili is thinking we must be, but we are growing. We are progressing from the one-party state which we used to have in the 1980s and 90s to where we are now, where coalitions can be formed to be able to move governments. I'll say this about Raila. Tell me of one person, one politician now who is not a student of Raila. Ruto is a student of Raila. Kalonzo is a student of Raila. And the reason why, even when the commemoration, the anniversary is going to be done in Mombasa, they are all going to be invited as formation or the formative members. Basically, we are dealing with a person that have actually run through the landscape of political environment in this country for a period of probably 40, 50 years. He's worked with literally every president of this country. And one thing about Raila, which I will actually want to say is positive, is that he knows that even after the election, a country has to move on. And the reason why is even when he was defeated by Moi, he decided to work with Moi so that the country can move on. When he was defeated by Kibaki, he decided to work with Kibaki so that the country can move on. And even up to this particular time, Raila is working with Ruto, not because they are political buddies, because he believes that it's important that the sitting government be given a chance to work. So for Raila to call out his troops and say, no, listen, this is a coalition and it's not a coalition of an election of 2027. It's a coalition that allows Kenyans to operate. For me, I think that is a very positive thing from Raila. Unlike probably the other opposition leaders that we see who want to antagonize the government and everything, including the positive ones. So I will say, one, it is important that a celebration, an anniversary is supposed to be done. We cannot just say because ODM is failed, we cannot allow it to have an anniversary. Let it have an anniversary. And this anniversary is just as a commemoration of a milestone and also a statement of intent for the 2027 election. How do you expect, my friend, to see Raila seeing his troops campaigning for Ruto and he's sitting? I think it's important for him to bring them to order. One thing that I know clearly is that Raila is a political strategist. And Raila has worked through political strategy all this time. What they're trying to do is to create a formidable force of ODM so that they can be able to negotiate for the government that is coming. I really do not think that Raila will run for 2027. Mm-hmm. Raila is trying to create a force so that when the next government is formed, he sits at the table to negotiate for
whoever forms the government.
Whoever forms the government.
Okay.
And I think we already know who he wants to form the government because he's already in bed with Ruto and they are actually doing things. And so probably for me, that is where Raila wants the government to be formed. But he cannot just tell his people, let's go and campaign for Ruto. It is not going to be right for him to do that. And the reason why he actually
to strike a deal. So therefore the vision for ODM that they want to articulate now is to strike a deal in the future.